Main man, Andy Montgomery from the Mount Druitt Rangers. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, and
Andy.
thanks for having me on your show.
It's a
Can
pleasure.
you?
I know I only got to you on short notice today, but it was a great pleasure that you were more than happy to come on. We really appreciate that.
Awesome, not a problem at all.
Um, Firstly, before we get into a little bit about, because I've been following your results closely and what's happening, firstly, tell us a little bit about Mount Druitt Rangers. I mean, it's a club that's done a lot of wonderful things, especially in the youth and in the seniors over the last few years. You could say you've been a little bit of a yo-yo club at the last couple of seasons, going up and then coming down and then coming straight back up again. How hard is it, Andy, as you know, coming from MPL 1 back to the Premier League? How there is a bit of a massive gap, and it is very hard, isn't it, to you know, go straight back up to the Premier League and compete the way you want to compete.
Um, yeah, look, you're 100% right there. I joined the club in 2023 as the first team assistant, but so I can only really speak from my experience from there. But I think that the major difference between then and now is looking back, we were probably a little bit more of a reactive team, counter-attacking, sit in tight, try not to concede, hit on the counter, and not as proactive as I would probably like. So when we did go down there, it was almost like, okay, so we need to press the big reset button and work out what our identity is. Get back to our strong roots and strong principles, which we did in 2024, and get the right type of player in and around the club to propel us back in, which we did it at first ask. Now, leading into this season as well, we probably needed to be a little bit more possession based in NPL 1 to try and build something that's a bit more sustainable for the long term future. As probably most people are aware, we're not a club that's flushed with cash and afforded the revenues that some clubs do have out there. So we need to try and be brave and build something that's sustainable for the future here. And we've done that through the youth players and our we call them the seniors in the 18s and 20s. Got to build something really sustainable here and play an attractive playing style, which at times doesn't come off, or hasn't come off, I should say. But we've got to be brave, continue to play the way that we do, and the results will turn.
I had the pleasure to work with two of your young starlets that I rate very highly in Caleb Jackson Brown and Thomas Lopez. I worked with both of them with Hills United, and I think they've got great futures. They could be in the A League, and it was actually fantastic that your club actually gave them a chance at Mount Druitt, and I think that's where you said when you can bring in talent like that and work on that kind of talent, that's where the club, that's where the future is.
They really fit out the profile that we're going for. That sort of younger, hungry, talented profile of player that's mobile, technically and tactically very good. I did have the pleasure of working with Caleb for a few years when I was at Blacktown City, helping to bring him through as well. Tommy Lopez, or Tilo that we like to call him. This is the first opportunity I've had to work with him, but their ceilings are massive for both of those players. The potential is huge, and it's just the same. Like when we look at guys like Caleb, 23, I think Caleb is. Tommy Lopez just turned 21. Alex Trajanowski turns 21 this year. Both the Rankin twins, 19, turning 20 this year. Jared Massarola turning 21. And apologies if I've left anyone else out, but Lockie Vasilius. There's plenty of potential in here. We just need to be patient.
Your Brazilian import has been very good as well.
Yeah, I've been chasing him for about 3 years. There's been a lot of late night calls, and unfortunately, whether it's in sort of Malta or Indonesia, the transfer windows just didn't quite line up at certain times. We thought we had him a couple of times, but it just didn't line up. But we were blessed that it got over the line this time.
Watching watching your team, I think against many teams, including last week, you were dominant over Sutherland. Despite in most parts of the game, you were really dominant, and I think you were unlucky you didn't get a result. And I also remember the game against Rockdale, you went down 3-2 in the final minute, and probably should have won that game. And, so I think it's like the results are really close, and it's just like a flick of a switch. A few results go your way, and, you'll be sitting much higher on the table because, like I said, some of the football you have played in large parts of the game has actually been entertaining and great to watch.
I appreciate that. That's great feedback for us to take on board because at times you can sort of put the horse before the cart and start doubting what you're trying to do. But I think the overarching message, I think box to box, we've been very good. Now it's just a matter of getting the right behaviours, cues, and execution in the attacking and defensive end, and it will all click. I'm really confident of that, and we're only going to get better and better.
Andy,
mate, just touching on that again. It's look, the elephant in the room is you guys obviously aren't sitting where you'd probably like to be sitting, somewhat halfway through the season. But it's encouraging to hear that you're quite confident that you can sort of pull yourself out of that. I suppose relegation battle, if you want to call it that. But the results have been very, very mixed, and there's been a lot of positive there. So is that another thing where against good competition, as Chuba mentioned, but is that something else that gives you guys and the team, coaching staff confidence that you can drag yourself out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's probably 3 games where we just weren't in it. We're totally outclassed, as a lot of people do when they go to Manly on a Friday night, especially travelling from the west, battling the traffic. Getting yourself mentally prepared. We got touched up there. The Apia away result. I mean, Apia were just sensational that night. But all the other games we were competitive. Wollongong, I thought, for pretty decent periods. Let's say I won't say that we were dominant by any stretch, but for decent periods, I thought we controlled the game. Even when we went into a deeper block, I didn't feel that we were under any great threat until we turned over a penalty. And then against United as well, I thought we were quite comfortable too, creating opportunities to create without that sort of end product. But time, patience, consistent messaging, I'm hopeful that'll turn around.
Next 3 weeks, looking forward, I know you'd like to take it a week at a time, but being a local Marconi boy, I'm looking at that fixture in 3 weeks' time, a local derby, if you like, up here at Marconi Stadium. And the week before that, you got the Wanderers, again, probably another local derby. So how crucial are these? And obviously it starts this week with a Northwestern Spirit team who just bounced back over the weekend. But how far are you looking forward to these next couple of fixtures?
Look, we love every game. That's the reality, and that's the beautiful thing about our change room. Even though the results haven't been going our way, the boys just love playing. They love being together. They love training. And again, without it trying to sound like a cliche, every game is important, and we can only play or only beat what's in front of us, right? So whether that's Spirit, whether that's Marconi, whether that's Central Coast Mariners, Wanderers, we want to win every game. We want to be first to the car park. We want to be first to the change rooms. We want to be winning everything, to be honest. But we want to make sure that we're doing it in our style, and not sort of jagging a goal here and there. We want to build something that's really sustainable.
Andy, if they have the passion you showed when you got that red card this year, mate, the boys would be flying.
Sorry, you're dropping out there. I'm actually still a bit dark on that one, to be honest. Let's just say there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, and maybe some words that were assumed were said weren't said. But we copped that in the chin, and referees are always correct, and I apologise for any sort of misunderstanding, and we move on.
Andy, going back to the club now.
Enough.
going back to the club, your youth setup and everything about the club. Now we know a B League's coming in one day. I suppose all clubs one day dream about maybe one day being involved in that. And Mount Druitt, I mean, you get support from the community down there big time. How important has it been the youth league set up to get right down there this year and get it back to where? Because once upon a time, Mount Druitt at one stage were probably the best in the youth at one stage, and it's sort of slipped up a little bit in the how important is to get the youth back to where they need to be.
It's pretty cool for a club like ours. Like I mentioned, we can't at the top end go out and buy our way out of problems. We've got to create our own solutions. The beautiful thing, there was moments last year and leading into this year where we know that we're back on the right path again. is all the youth kids were here, the JDL kids were here supporting us, going crazy when Andre Martins was scoring goals for us last year, and Wongi or Mendy was scoring goals. It was a really, really great feeling along here. And even this year, credit to them, everyone's behind each other, and that goes for the women's program as well. Like they're performing really well.
Yep.
We were down there the other night for the Sapphire Cup, supporting them as well. It's just a really community-driven family club where we all look after each other, because not many people do look after the West. So we've got to look after ourselves.
No, it's been great, and like I said, it's been great. I've been following Mount Druitt Rangers for a while now. I know you've done your passion. You and your brother down there have been doing a terrific job over the years, and like you said, I know how hard it is to play in this MPL1 competition, trust me, and I know how hard it is to go back up. And then you go, I won it with Hills, you go back up, and how hard it is then to, match, like you said, the money that's been played around in the Premier League. It's very hard, and, so people don't realise how much work there is in this competition. And like you said, those phone calls you make, it's all about how much work you do in the off-season, how right you get it with players off the park. It's just the amount of hours you put in away from the game, it's incredible. And I know you do that in spades. So we love the passion. Congratulations on what's happening down there at Mount Druitt. And hopefully you continue on a great path. And, hopefully you can get out of that dreaded top two and stay in the league this season. Bottom two, sorry, and stay in the league this season.
You don't want to be in that dreaded top two, do you?
No.
I appreciate the kind words, guys. Really do.
Thanks, Andy. We'll see you at the Marconi fixture, mate.
Beautiful. Let's we'll get some sunflower seeds together, huh?
100%.
Yes,
thank
buddy.
you. Champion. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thanks, mate.